G'day everyone, as you can see I've got 3 LED lenser torches sitting in front of the camera. Now what I wanted to talk about is the latest edition, which is the one you see here, which is the P3. Now I just acquired this one off eBay just a few days ago, and I'm not actually going to mention the seller's name at this point because he still insists that the item is a genuine item. But I will read you some details from some email communications that we've had. Now, the seller that I bought this off was an Australian seller. The reason I went with him obviously was, as most of us do, the reason for purchasing off eBay is for going for the lowest price. Now, there was another seller that obviously makes claims across his website, big bold writing saying that he's the only genuine provider or importer of LED lens products. Now the price difference between these two, it wasn't that significant, but it was a difference between $24 and $19. So obviously thinking, well, there's about $5 in my pocket, 20% of the purchase price, I'll go with a cheaper one. Now another reason I was confident in making the purchase with the dealer that I went with was he had 22,000 purchases or sales and 100% feedback. Now that's pretty impressive, I must say. Now the first I knew about the issue was that I'd actually received an email from eBay saying that I'd recently purchased the item. If I hadn't paid for it, not to. If I had already paid for it, then to get in touch with them after a 10-day period, make a claim through the resolution centre through PayPal, and I'd receive a full refund. I also received an email direct from the vendor, and he told me that he had been wrongly accused by the guy who actually promotes the genuine item on his website, through his store, that he was adamant that it was incorrect, and that he does actually receive his items or his LED lenser torches through Leatherman USA, who he instructs me is actually in fact LED lenser. Now I'm not sure whether that's the case, but anyway, and he goes on to say that it's an attempt by the other seller to stop him selling genuine products. He's getting his solicitor involved, and we'll go from there. Now at this point I sent off a response to the fellow and said, look, I've actually received the torch and I don't believe it to be genuine. I was all very nice about it and obviously hoping to get a positive response out of the situation. Sent him an email back, so look, I don't believe it to be genuine, and here are the reasons why. Now I'm actually going to show you the P3, the purchased item, versus the P5 that I've got here. Now I'm not saying that this isn't genuine. The seller is still claiming, albeit that I've pointed out these differences that we're about to go through, has basically said that this is still genuine, and that it's actually the torch is actually taken from a Wave/P3/bit kit combination, part number 831532, and basically that it's separated out of a package kit that you can buy from Leatherman apparently. And he also says that eBay has now admitted their error and has relisted his item, which I can see is correct, yet I've received no response from eBay regarding the supposed suggestion that they made originally to say that he was not selling genuine items. Anyway, so what I'm going to do at this point is just point out the differences that I believe to be fairly significant between the two torches, and you can make up your mind for yourself. So the reason I'd made the purchase of this one was to obviously reduce my weight when backpacking, and I don't need significant luminance when I'm actually camping, so this was going to be sufficient with its 16 odd lumens. Anyway, let's get into it. The first thing I noticed when I took it out of the pack was the button on the end. You can see it's got a pattern on it. Now none of the other LED lenser products I have that. That in itself obviously doesn't suggest that it's non-genuine. Typically when all of my other LED lenser products have turned up, they've arrived in a nice little black box, sealed up well with a battery, etc., and some paperwork. Now this one actually arrived in an Australian Post plastic bag. Wrapped up with some bubble wrap, but certainly no box to be seen. I did have some paperwork stuffed in with it, which certainly appears to be the genuine LED lenser paperwork that I've received with the others. Not that I've paid a great deal of attention, but obviously it's come with the paperwork. Now, I don't have any handy, but normally they also arrive with LED lens batteries. This one came with a Duracell. So as you can imagine, pulling it out of a plastic bag as opposed to a nice box, and seeing that we've got a Duracell battery included, I started to ask a few questions and look a little more closely at the torch. When I went to insert the battery, that's when I noticed another significant difference. Now, LED Lenser always promotes that their torches have these gold contacts. Actually see that in the P5 there. Obviously only gold plated, but gold nonetheless. If we crack open the P7 here, which is a bit more heft and it requires a bit more effort, you'll see the gold contacts on the end there as well. Looking at the P3 that I received, however, you'll see there's only these little tabs. That's a significant difference in itself. The cap looks the same. They certainly look very similar, and they certainly seem to be made from the same material. Not sure whether you can see in here. I'll take that battery out. In the normal LED lenser, you can see we've got a gold contact down the end, and the end certainly appears to be sealed down the end there. We have a look at the P3. You can see there's a PCB board down the end there. It looks like a gold contact, but the board itself is all unsealed and open. Differences continue when you take off the lens itself. Now, the cases are very similar, and the action of focusing on both torches is the same, sliding backwards and forwards. But when you actually have a look at the LED, so here's the P3. Now you can see when you just have a look at that, it certainly just appears to be a regular old LED, a bulb type, if you will. I don't know the actual technical term for them. So looking at the front of the torch, you'll see the significant difference. This one, get that to focus there. Now on that one, on the P5, you can actually see that's a little surface mount LED in there. So that in itself is probably the main difference. And you can actually see LED lenser branding around the outside there, the logo, etc. Now this is the P3. Not sure whether the colour is going to come out on that, but keeping in mind that this is not meant to be the same lumens as this one. This one's meant to do, I think it's around about 16. The P3. This I believe is meant to do around about 60 or 70, but don't quote me on that. Obviously you'll be able to find that on the website. So you can see that there. Now let's switch over to this one. Now obviously this one's meant to be brighter. You can see the colour difference. This one on the left has, I guess, is a more blue light, where the one on the right, the P5, is a lot whiter, and you do see that on the wall as well. Keeping in mind that the one on the right hand side is meant to be brighter anyway. Now this is the lens from the P5. You can see you've got sort of a flatter outer section there, and then a bit of a convex section right in the centre, which I believe is what actually gives them their throw, because when you move that, that actually focuses the beam. So you can see that there. When you jump over to the P3, you'll actually, well, you may not notice, but it's just a single convex lens. There's no gradient to it. It's just a standard lens. So, and all of the other LED lenses I have, you can see have that same lens there in the end. And with that one as well, you can see inside you've got a surface mount LED, and you can see the LED lens branding around the LED itself. That's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm going to leave it to you to make up your own mind whether this is actually a genuine item or not. I've been in touch with the seller, and he has actually said, look, if I'm unhappy in any way, he's quite happy to provide me with a full refund for the item, providing that I pay for the postage back. Now I'm going to have the ability to send this back to him from work, so postage won't actually cost me anything. Had that not been the case, I would have been going for a full refund and keeping the item, or for him to arrange for the payment of the postage. I certainly wouldn't be copying the cost of the postage to send back what I believe to be a non-genuine item, but I do stand to be corrected. So I'm not going to say it is non-genuine, I say I don't believe it to be a genuine item. Anyway, so there you go. So if you've actually received a non-genuine item, an LED lenser product, or you think you may have received one, certainly I'd be very, very interested in hearing from you in the comments, or posting up a response video, and I'd be really interested in seeing what you actually got, what the contacts look like, what the end looked like. Or conversely, if you've actually received one that looks exactly like this, you bought it from somebody you know to be a genuine LED lenser dealer, or you bought it from a store and you know that they deal with genuine LED lenser products, or obviously bought it direct from LED lenser, and your item looks exactly the same as this, please, please, please let me know. I'd be very, very interested to see one that looks like this. As per the dealer that I dealt with, he suggested that LED lenser make a number of variations of the P3, and this just happens to be the one that I got. So let me know. I'm very interested in your responses, and we'll see how this plays out, whether eBay has something to say about this one. There you go. Now this is the P5. Now I know that's not focusing on that wall very well, but that's in spot mode. So you can see a nice round circle. There's some circling on the outside, but I don't think you can see that. Now if we go into flood mode, there we go. Now let's switch over to the P3. There she is in spot mode. So that's quite a nice circle, very well rounded. But we go to spot, and it doesn't really change size. So let's just slide that back. That's the size there. We'll get that just in frame, and we'll go to flood. And I think it actually gets smaller, and you can actually see, I'm not sure whether the camera is picking this up, but there's a nice big ring around the outside as well. So spot mode to flood mode makes no difference in the size of the light, or the light being thrown out, other than a nice big circle around the outside. So let's just jump back to the P3. Sorry, let's just jump back to the P5. So we'll go in and focus, and you can see the tight beam there, and we'll go to flood, and you'll see that it actually goes right outside of the camera view, so a significant difference. So there you go. So this is the torch I received, and I've got to say, for an LED lenser product, I'm not entirely happy with it. I'm not happy with it at all. It certainly doesn't perform on par with the other LED lenser products I've got. And whilst at this point, because I'm awaiting a refund from the seller, and I've got to send this back, and because I could quite honestly be mistaken, I don't want to say this is a non-genuine product, but I do want to say that there are some glaring differences between the all of the other LED lenser products that I've received or seen reviewed online, and this item I have in my hands right now. Look, to a point where it was only sort of 20 minutes ago that I shot off the email to the seller and said, look, I'm happy to pass this back to you for a refund. But the way I'm actually starting to feel about this product, I'm almost inclined to say, look, don't worry about it. I'll actually just put a claim through PayPal. You posted on how this plays out. Not sure whether I'll send this back and chase a refund, because obviously if you've got concerns that you haven't received a genuine item, that suggests that the dealer may not be as genuine as you would hope, and as honest as you might hope. Not suggesting that he's not, but it certainly does put some questions in your mind. And then for me to then put further trust in said dealer and hope that he's going to provide me with a full refund on his word, I've got some doubts there. I'm not real sure. I'm certainly not suggesting that he won't, but there's some doubts in my mind that he will. I've already trusted you once, and I've got something that I believe to be below par, and you're asking me to trust you again. I don't know whether that's going to happen. Anyway, good luck. Keep your eyes out. Again, like I said, post up any comments, any feedback if you've received one of these items and you believe it to be genuine, non-genuine or otherwise. Certainly let me know. I'd really appreciate that. Thanks for watching.